been a troublemaker, I've been a late-night player, I've been broke as a joke, I've been a money maker, I've been a record breaker, taking credit as an educator, I've been known to spit the flows and make it shaky, shaky thing, popping, locking, stopping, let it hang. Watch us as we drop this hip-hop, it's like it stings. We make the whole room drop and everybody sing. We want the funk, we gotta have that funk. We kick it old school, we think we're so cool. We take it back to the past, we go and act a fool.
Hello. Welcome to Sports Buzz, the Fan-atical View. I am your host, Scott D. Lewis, here live in studio Comcast Cable, Channel 23, downtown Danbury, Connecticut. On this August 1st, July has come and gone, and we flipped that calendar once again. Where did July go? That was way too fast. Usually I'm not big on the whole, summer's flying by. I think it moves a little slower than people usually say, but that was quick. And we are into August now, so maybe it is moving fast this summer. But a little sticky, a little hot. Heat wave kind of lingering after the big rain last night, but not too bad. I think we're doing all right. Maybe a nice weekend. I am here once again flying Han Solo, except for I do got my new right-hand man, the only guy who cares, Darkness, DJ Malo, David Suero directing the show. Bob is down at Rogers Park, singing a sad song probably as the Westerners wrap up their 25th anniversary season in playing a game that really has no implications whatsoever, as they have already been eliminated from the playoffs. But Bob is down there, and we'll touch on the Westerners in a second. His show, of course, Spotlight On, Tuesday nights at 9, Wednesdays at 12. You can check out what he's been covering and what he's been bringing to you, the people out there, right here on Comcast Channel 23. Of course, we are live until 7. 203-792-4101 is the number. Maybe we'll get a strange call. Maybe we'll get a call from somebody else. Feel free, ring that phone. We'll take it. We'll talk about any sports, seen any good summer movies. It's been a kind of a quiet summer movie year, I think, this year. Darkness, you got any good movies for me? I haven't really heard much buzz about too much this year, so it's been a little bit of a quiet year, but we'll talk about anything. Go ahead. What is it? Toy Story. Oh, I did hear Toy Story 2 was good. Or 4, I mean, the one that was out. Whatever. 203-792-4101. Get on the phone. Call us in. But, all right, so the Westerners, as I alluded to, playing, as I was saying, their final game tonight. Oh, and the phone is ringing. How about that? Hello, this is Sports Buzz. You are live and on the air. Thanks for calling.
Good to talk to you, Scotty. This is Strange Man.
The Strange Man, getting in early, getting in often. All right, Strange Man, how you doing?
I just got two things, and then I'll let you go, okay?
All right.
I want to talk about Steve Wilkerson, that game, because after the show, I was on the internet, and I just decided to check out the Late Show, and I was going to give you a text in the wee hours of the morning. Mm-hmm. It was an incredible game. He became the first position player to get a save.
Oh, which game was that? I think I may have missed it.
Yeah, because remember I did the call-in, and I was up quite late, and I decided to check out the Angels game on the West Coast.
Okay.
The O's were at the Angels, and I was like, whoa, it's still going. And the O's came back from behind to beat the Angels. And
Steve Wilkerson,
the coach said, hey, Steve, there's no one else available. Grab your mitt. And this was like in the 13th or 14th inning or something like that, so he's warming up. Mm-hmm. So he came in the 16th inning, and get this, he pitched a perfect 16 inning. He got Brian Goodman, Cole Calhoun, and guess who he got for the third out to end the game?
Mike Trout?
Albert Pujols.
Albert Pujols. Wow, Fat Albert.
Yeah, and at the same game, Pujols, he's supposed to be a big slugger.
Yeah.
He beat out infield hit in the 7th for his 3,000th 155 career hit. Listen to this. You know who he passed?
Who did he pass?
George Brett for sole position of 16th place. And the night before was the anniversary of the pine tar
incident, right?
George Brett.
We talked about that last week. It was the anniversary of the pine tar. So George Brett is in the doings a couple times last week because the Red Sox, of course, made that protest, which we were talking about. They dropped that protest, so I guess they didn't have the goods like they thought they did.
Yeah, the final out wasn't until, this is 1:29 Pacific time.
West Coast
time. The time
time.
of the game was, are you ready?
How much?
6 hours and 19 minutes.
Wow.
And the stats were like crazy. Total bases, O's, 26. Angels had 17 total bases. K's, strikeouts, 11 strikeouts for the O's. Angels had 17 strikeouts. Stolen bases, the Orioles had 5. Angels had 2. Walks, 11 for the Orioles and 4 for the Angels. And 36,214 paid. And they said that I was reading that there was quite a few people still left in the stands at the end of the game.
They stuck it out. Well, the Angels had been hot lately, so that's why the fans are into it.
The 10th pitcher, the Orioles used 10 pitchers. What were you going to say?
I was going to say that the Angels had been hot leading up into that game, so maybe that's why the fan base is a little bit into it right now. With all that they've had going on, they have struggled this past week and stumbled since that little hot streak they had. Maybe that long game took the wind out of them.
Yes, I have it right here. The Orioles came from behind 2 runs, and they snapped a 4-game winning streak by the Angels.
Mm-hmm.
The Orioles now are only 1-62 after trailing after 7th, and the Angels are, listen to this, 46-1. That was the first game when leading after the 7th that they
After
lost.
7. Wow, they got a pretty good bullpen out there in Anaheim.
Yeah. Okay, one more thing.
What else?
Now, do you know who was behind the plate on that game?
Was it our guy, Angel Hernandez again?
No. It was Tony Randazzo.
Oh, okay.
And he's an Italian-American. And I just want to say, his father passed away. He lived in Chicago, I think last Sunday.
Okay.
So, I am Italian-American too, so I just want to say to the Randazzo
I did not know you were a fellow Italian.
Condolences, yeah. So, all right, I'm not going to mention anything about the trade deadlines, obviously.
So, I mean, come on. What do you think? I mean, the Red Sox are all feeling good, high and mighty, beating up in the Yankees for 3 days. They took 5 out of the first 6 in the Tampa and the Yankees series, the first of a stretch that has them playing Tampa and the Yankees 14 straight days. And but now all of a sudden we still, a few days later, they're only 5-4 in this stretch, losing 3 straight, and they're still behind Oakland, Tampa, and Cleveland for the wild card.
Right. Let me just say something else before I go on vacation, because I'm on vacation this month. It's also
Good
my
for
birthday
you.
month. So I want to say, the Red Sox had a tough spring in the schedule.
Yes, they
I
did.
don't know if Major League Baseball has something out for them, but then when they went to England, it was really tough to pick up that ball in that stadium because a lot of white background. It was tough on both teams, and the time difference and all that, the travel. So they came back, and in Fenway they won. What was it? 3 out of 4, right? At Fenway.
Against the Yankees, yeah, this past weekend.
Yeah, and now they've lost 3 in a row, and Dave lost at least 2 starts. Tough
David
game.
Price, yep.
So tonight, Cashner's on the mound, guy from Baltimore.
Pitched well against the Yankees finally.
I was going to say, we, a lot of Red Sox people have been talking, we lost our closer. So, but the thing is on management is saying, hey, look, telling the GM, you said if I spend this amount of money, that we could put out a winning team. So the management closed the door on any more spending.
Well, I mean, Dombrowski said on the trade deadline
like the
day.
Yankees, when you look at like the Yankees and the Rays, the Yankees got their last slugger and they traded away a young 17-year-old. Now, Cashner came from the O's, and Boston traded away two 17-year-olds in the Dominican League. All right, but I don't know about the Rays. You know, did they make, like, I call them kind of, you know, moves against the future? I don't know.
Well, yeah, the Rays did make a couple interesting moves with the Marlins. The Rays were very interesting with what they did. You know, they got rid of the guy who's pitched for them the most, their opener, and one of their real top prospects they let go to the Brewers to get, you know, two good pitchers from the Marlins. But interesting what the Rays did with their moves at the deadline. I wasn't quite sure about their moves there.
And also, if you follow this, for the baseball fans out there, it's possible that the Rays might possibly play. They're talking about maybe moving north of the border. It's possible.
I don't see how that will work.
Sure,
split half the season with Montreal, half in Tampa.
We need a team, and the Rays, they have some following in Tampa Bay, but they say they have problems on there. So I don't know. If the Rays move north of the border, we'll see. That's being talked about. All right, one other thing. A lot of people have been talking about this too. This year was the first year that Major League Baseball went to e-tickets. You know what those are, right?
This was only the first year they did that? Wow.
Yeah, this year. So you go on MLB.com or whatever team's website, and then you can buy tickets, and then electronic casino goes to your smart device, and then you show up at the gate.
Yep.
And you have a barcode, and then they scan that barcode. Well, they tried it first time this year, and it went on opening day, and the system crashed.
Right.
So the lines at the doors were incredible. But you could see that. You could see that continuation. And I tell you, a lot of rules changes are going into effect next year.
And they're really pushing this whole
where Angel Hernandez got to place people in the order because of the Tampa Bay manager didn't do that. Remember that that game
against Boston last week?
Anniversary of George Bettara incident that was protested by the Red Sox.
Yep.
Well, that's what happened because the Rays manager didn't specifically put people in the order. So Hernandez says the rule book says I can fill out the order if the manager doesn't do that. Now, okay, if you want to argue that point, fine. Then why not let the umpires just make out the batting order at the beginning of the game? I mean, come on, it's a stupid thing.
That's
so
very stupid.
They're going to have to change that rule.
What about the fact that they really seem to be pushing the electronic balls and strike robot umpire in the minor leagues? They're really testing this out.
I went on national radio.
I guess it's in the international league.
And you know, our guy that got traded by the Twins, Viola, Frankie Villa, won 21 games before he went up to Boston.
Right.
And remember, then he opened up the first game that season with the Red Sox, and it was frigid in Fenway Park, and he hurt his elbow, and he wasn't the same sense. Well, he got thrown out of the game because he argued that the computer was wrong, so they tossed him out. And I was on national radio talking about that.
Interesting.
So anyway, I'll let you go. And everybody take care, stay cool, and we'll see what happens this month. You know what I mean?
Well, you know, they are the defending champs. They got plenty of talent on the team. We know they can score runs. I still have big questions about the pitching staff, and I don't think they got a great chance with what they have set up there based on that. But you never know. They got to play the games.
Yes, you never know. You know, and life is a roll of the dice also. So anyway, everybody again, take care and stay cool, and Strange Man over and out.
Thanks for the call. Take care. All right, Strange Man had a lot to say there. couple things that were interesting. A couple things, he's always chiming in. We were going to mention the Westerners. We got sidetracked. We'll go back to the Westerners, and then I'll go off on the trade deadline and some other Major League Baseball stuff to finish up the show. But the Westerners are playing their final game tonight versus Ocean State. They have been eliminated from the playoffs. They sit at 19-22. Mystic is ahead of them, finished with their season at 22-20. It was the doubleheader we see right there. They won the first game, lost the second to Mystic. I believe that doubleheader was on Monday, and that pretty much ended it for the season when they dropped that doubleheader. They had the bad weekend after winning last Thursday on the anniversary evening with that big win, 13-1 right there last Thursday night. But they lost over the weekend to Newport 7-1 and to the Valley Blue Sox 11-8. Those were really tough games right before the doubleheader. They needed to sweep that doubleheader and they couldn't get it done. So the story of their season really is that 8-game losing streak after starting 12-3. Really brutal that they had that losing streak, and that really derailed the whole season. They finish, well, depending on what they do tonight, but from 12-3, they are now 19-22, which means they went 7-19 after that terrific start to the year. You throw out the 8-game losing streak, and they were still 7-11 beyond that down the stretch. They just couldn't get it done, and really promising start to the year. Thought sure with a 12-3 start, playing roughly 42 games or so, that was going to be enough for them to make the playoffs this year, but really shocking and disappointing end to the season. So that'll be it for them as they say goodbye tonight at Rogers Park. I'm sure there'll still be some fans out there checking them out. Good support down there in Danbury for the Westerners. And the games were entertaining despite the losses. All right, so Major League Baseball trade deadline was yesterday. Mets started things off at the beginning of the week with some curious activity, trading for Marcus Stroman from the Jays, and then trading our guy right there, Jason Vargas, to the Phillies. So I don't really have a problem with them going after Stroman. I don't really get the philosophy where everybody says, what are the Mets doing? They have no chance to make the playoffs this year, and even if they do, they'll only be in as a wild card. So why would they make trades for Stroman? They got Stroman for nothing. They really didn't have to give up anything. And even if they don't make the playoffs this year, the last time I checked, they'll be playing next year. Stroman is a Long Island kid. I don't like the idea of teams, just because one season is going wrong, not still continuing to look to the following season, trading away good players just because they're having one bad year when they could keep those guys and keep it together. Do we have another call? I think I hear the phone ringing. Hello, this is Sports Buzz. You are live and on the air.
Hello, this is Scott. We got 10 minutes left.
Okay, thank you very much for letting me know how much time is left in this show. Thank you, caller. You can call in anytime. Okay, so I believe there's 10 minutes left in the show. Somebody's paying attention to the clock in there. But so they went out and get Stroman, a Long Island kid. They got him, wrapped up for a little bit. But then they backed that up by trading Vargas to the Phillies. Of course, we know Vargas had the big blow up with the media early in the season, but he had been kind of their most consistent pitcher throughout the year, and pitching well after the blow up at least. So they do part ways with him, send him to the Phillies, but they keep Syndergaard, they keep Wheeler, which was a big surprise. Most people thought they were going to lose him, and lo and behold, they have now won 7 straight, because they did win today 4-0 at the Chi Sox. And Wheeler went 7 strong after Syndergaard had a great outing last night. They rallied for 3 runs in the 9th to beat the White Sox last night for their 6th straight. They get their 7th today. I believe they have now won 12 out of the last 16. So they moved to 53-55. And more importantly, I would say the team and the fan base and the ownership and the coaching staff are all talking and carrying themselves confidently that they can make a run at this thing. We will see if they can actually do that. There are 7 teams ahead of them in the wild card, even though they're not that far up from the top. There's a lot of teams bunched up. The Cubs and the Cards, one of those 2 teams will win the division, but they are tied at 57 and 50. And the Nationals are 57 and 51 at the second wild card, a half game out behind the Cubs and Cards as far as that goes. Phillies 56 and 51, playing better. Brewers 57 and 52, struggling a little bit. Giants, who had went 19 and 2 over a stretch of 21 games. They did lose today badly to the Phillies 10 to 2. So they are now actually 55 and 54. And they were rumored to be maybe trading Mad Bumgarner, but they held on to him. They did trade some other guys. And the Diamondbacks at 54 and 55 ahead of the Mets as far as the wild card situation goes. Braves, of course, division leader, 64 and 45. Dodgers, 71 and 39, best in the National League. But I kind of like the Mets' attitude and giving their team, the feeling like, hey, if we're healthy and we get guys going, Cano, home run today, double today, 2 RBIs. We had the 3 home run game last week. We feel like, we have a great starting pitching staff. And if Diaz ever got his act together and could close these games out, maybe they can make a run down the stretch. There's still 2 full months of baseball left to play. So I like the message they're sending to the fan base. I like the team responding to the message that the ownership is sending to them by playing well. So keep it going. They're at Pittsburgh this weekend. The Pirates aren't doing that great. So, maybe they keep the streak going before they head home, and maybe they get back to 500 by the time they get there, or close enough to it to really make a run down the stretch with 2 months to go. So we'll see what they do. So as far as the trade deadline goes, they made their curious things. How about this? The Yankees, Red Sox don't do anything, but only the Yankees can catch this kind of a break. Yesterday afternoon at the Bronx, and first of all, why do the Yankees have 2 days off this week? Not playing today, didn't play Monday before their 4 games this weekend, doubleheader Saturday against the Red Sox. Anyways, only the Yankees catch this kind of a break. Going up against one of the top pitchers in the league, Zach Greinke and the Diamondbacks. They're losing 3-2 in the 6th inning when the rain comes. 30-minute rain delay. A lot of times that would knock a starting pitcher out, but Greinke was cruising. 32 minutes is not that long. He could have come out, except for the fact that during the 32-minute rain delay, the Diamondbacks trade him to Houston. So he does not come back. The Yankees don't have to finish the game pitching, facing a hot pitcher. And then they rally against the bullpen as their team is wondering why their star pitcher got traded to the Astros, and the Yankees rally for the win. Only the Yankees catch breaks like that, and only the Yankees get breaks like 2 days off after a 4-game series in Boston where they got their brains beat in for 3 days before salvaging the series. Historically bad outing against the Red Sox, losing that game 19-3, 10-5, 9-5 before rallying. A couple errors and Chris Sale looking terrible in the 9-6 Sunday nightcap. But the Yankees did not do anything at the trade deadline. The fans really wanted them to go get a starter. Their starting pitchers were historically bad. We've seen some rough outings from them. We'll see if that costs them down the stretch. The Astros were the big winners at the trade deadline, getting Greinke. So they got Verlander, Greinke, Cole. Their starting pitching rotation looks good, and we know they can hit. And the Red Sox, as we mentioned, did nothing. Their bullpen is in shambles. They're going to have to rely on Eovaldi getting stronger and stronger as he comes back from injury and bolstering that bullpen. We'll see if that makes a difference. The Rays, we mentioned, got a couple pitchers from the Marlins. They did give up a big prospect. The Cubs got a big lefty outfielder bat. They've been struggling, some not pulling away as the Cardinals are catching them. Nicholas Castellanos from the Tigers. He's one of the top lefty outfielders in the league with Judge, J.D. Martinez, and Trout. Braves with the reliever, get the top reliever that moved at least, Shane Green from the Tigers. They also get Mark Melanson from the Giants. So the Braves really looking to make a big run, and they've got a good record. The Braves are looking pretty good. Brewers get Drew Pomerantz and Ray Black from the Giants. So the Giants didn't move anybody big, but they did move a few guys, 3 guys out of their bullpen. Oakland got a guy a starter from the Reds, nothing big there. The Diamondbacks are going to trade Greinke or replace Greinke with Mike Leake as Bob shows up not at the ballpark. What's the deal? From the Mariners. Nationals got a couple of relievers to solidify them. We don't have a microphone set up for you, Bob.
That's okay.
But he'll give me the countdown. Is what? 2 minutes? That's all right. It's not going to happen. So we'll see what happens. The Red Sox head to New York this weekend after losing 3 straight now, 2 in a row from the Rays. It's been a tale of 2 cities. Boston goes to Tampa Bay, wins all the games down there. Tampa comes up to Boston, wins all the games up here. It's infuriating. We'll see if they can win tonight with the guy they traded from the Orioles showing up and playing well, pitching well against the Yankees after his 2 first bad outings. It's just going to be interesting. Other games that took place today, the Twins blew a 4-2 lead in the 9th against the Marlins, and they lose in extras 5-4. And the Brewers were holding on 3-2 over Oakland in the 8th. Your Mets, Bob, did win.
Yeah.
So that was good. And your Westerners didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah, that's what we're doing now. We have Ocean State, and then this came down, and it's a meaningless game, but.
So you bailed on Rogers Park, decided to come over here for a minute.
Well, I came over to figure sale out because I had
What's going on with your phone, Bob? Are we almost out of time? How much time? 30 seconds. What's going on with your phone, Bob? I can't get in touch with you.
I've been busy. It's been problems with the phone, so.
Some problems with the phones. All right, so the Red Sox beat up on the Yankees. We got 20 seconds left, and still they find themselves behind the Rays, behind Oakland, and behind Cleveland in the wild card. So a lot of fun that was with 3 straight days beating up on the Bombers, but I don't know that it's going to do them much good. It'll be fun if they beat up, we talked about it last week. They're better on the road than at home. They're going to finish off this 14-day stretch of Tampa and New York. Maybe they win tonight and go into the Bronx and batter the Yankees around again after last weekend's historical bashing. All right, I think we might be out of time. That's it. We'll see you next week, perhaps. And maybe Bob will be mic'd up then. Take care.
I see her standing there wanting lust with the air. I feel hesitant, but wedging just ain't part of my master plan. Do you feel